mode. Talking about you fine.
How did you even see that? Did you go?
I saw. I did. I can go to his page and see when he was in Atlanta and when he was hitting you.
You can never break me. Ever. I'm trying to get some money.
You.
No, you.
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 I'm done with you. You dead to me. Divorce.
Get the papers. I'm gonna take the high road like I should have done alone.
Getting acclimated to the rhythms of married life and making dinner in the comfort of her own home was the plan for this evening. Kendra had no idea that everything was going to collapse. That night, Atlanta's air was heated, and behind the calm exterior, the city's pulse hummed steadily. As with any relationship, Kendra and Jock's marriage had its ups and downs, but as of late, they both sensed something was different. Their intimacy had waned and had been replaced by an unspoken distance that seemed to grow wider every day. Kendra had hoped that, could withstand the silent storm that would ever threaten to destroy them would be vanquished by their love. She didn't know, but that Jock's perspective had changed. Innocently enough, it started when Kendra went into the kitchen to make dinner and left her phone on the counter. It made the Jock, who had always had complete faith in her, stare down at it. He wouldn't often delve into her private life like this, but something was off. He had been having uneasy thoughts recently that he couldn't get rid of, and he had the unnerving impression that Kendra was restraining herself. Even though he knew deep down that asking for the passcode would be a betrayal of the trust they had worked so hard to build over the years, he didn't even need to do it. Kendra made a mistake that would ultimately lead to her demise. She never thought to lock her phone. Jock's blood froze as he stared at the screen, and his hands trembled slightly when he opened it. The communications were not only polite exchanges. They were secret and brimming with enticement and coded promises. Jock's heart broke more and more as he read. These were not your average discussions with friends or coworkers. They were filled with deep relationships that felt too intimate for consolation, desire, and private admissions. When you're in a committed relationship, keep it private. It felt like the betrayal of all they had fought so hard to build, something Kendra had been hiding from him. The recipient of the communication was Kendra's former partner, with whom she had previously shared a portion of her life. He wasn't just anybody. Kendra had a special place in her heart for him, and those feelings had not only persisted, but had come back to her in their messages. There had clearly been more involved than Kendra had previously revealed. Jock's hands trembled as he read the interaction again, each word piercing more deeply than the previous, his chest constricted with a mix of anger and incredulity. A sentimental matter, Kendra noticed the Jock standing there with his phone in hand, his face white with shock and rage, and the tension in the air when she came back into the living room. She quickly realized what was going on because he had seen the messages, as evidenced by the icy, accusing expression in his eyes. Jock felt as though his whole universe had been flipped upside down, and his rage was instantaneous and uncontrollable. All of the commitments they had made to each other and the love he had invested in their marriage suddenly seemed insignificant.
Energy good, good crowd. So what's really going on?
It's business. I don't want you to, be feeling no kind of way. Like, I'm honest, I'm faithful, and I feel like,
You don't want me to feel no kind of way, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if I was dealing with a woman who was sending me hard eyes in my DM, talking about I'm fine, talking about I'm sexy.
But I never replied back to any of those. I didn't even.
No, you replied up and you definitely saw it.
No title.
You want me, I don't give a fuck about title too. You want me to be cool with you continuing to do business with love.
That's why you're feeling so weird about it, because you probably insecure.
Don't try to twist this up and point fingers at me. I saw the receipt. And if you want to sit here and play these mind tricks with me, I'm going to really feel like it's more for this. And I ain't with it. I see that this DM is in vanish mode. Talking about you fine.
How did you even see that? Did you go?
I did. I can go to his page and see when he was in Atlanta and when he was hitting you.
I'm not going to play with you like that. If you want to play kid games, I'll be out. Go play with your kids. Go play with your baby mamas. Don't play with me. I'm talking about this specific
situation. Because I'm going to break you the down.
You can never break me. Ever. I'm trying to get some money.
Well, go get some money with somebody else who ain't trying to
You can never break me. Ever.
You.
No, you.
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 I'm done with you. You dead to me. The what?
Get the papers. I'm gonna take the high road like I should have done a long time ago.
Jock's voice broke the silence before she could say anything. His voice was quiet and savage, a silent rage that left Kendra feeling utterly unsettled. In an attempt to maintain the shaky relationship she had with Jock, Kendra had intended to hide this part of her life, but suddenly everything was in the open. The flirtation, the talks, the secret connection, and it was directly glaring at them both. Kendra's voice was shaking as she continued, "I can explain, but the harm was already done." Jock wanted to know the truth, not an explanation. He stated, "This is what you've been doing behind my back." He pointed to the phone in his hand as though it were an accusation in and of itself, and his voice raised in a mix of anger and hurt. Kendra had never intended to harm him and had never thought that her actions would have such a terrible effect. But here they were, and there was no turning back the clock. The agony in his eyes was more intense than she had anticipated. "This is not what I intended to happen." Kendra made an effort, but her words seemed feeble and powerless in the face of the maelstrom of emotions. His accusation weighed heavily on Kendra's chest, smothering her as the words struck her like a slap in the face. Although she wanted to make amends by apologizing and explaining what had happened, she realized deep down that words could not undo the mess she had made and that she had betrayed his confidence, which was almost hard to mend. Jock was unleashing, he remarked sorely, his fists balled up. "Everything we had was based on falsehoods, even though you didn't intend for it to happen." He was angry now, but his jaw was still clenching. "I trusted and loved you, Kendra, but you've ruined everything we had, and you've ruined me." As Kendra reached for him, he withdrew, his body stiff with agony, his eyes, which had once been warm and loving, now filled with disdain and treachery. He whispered, scarcely lifting his voice above a whisper, "Maybe I was just a fool. Maybe this marriage was never real." As the door slammed behind him, he departed, leaving Kendra standing in the middle of the room, feeling the consequences of her choices. Kendra collapsed into the sofa. He knew he couldn't turn back because of the love they had shared, the foundation they had created, the broken trust, the truth now being completely revealed, and the sorrow and betrayal he felt in his stomach. The lies and deceit that had ruined everything could not be undone. She had lost him. The house was silent as the night wore on, echoing the emptiness in their souls.
Spanish mode. Talking about you fine.
How did you even see that? Did you go
I did. I can go to his page and see when he was in Atlanta and when he was hitting you.
You can never break me. Ever. I'm trying to get some money.
You.
No, you.
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 I'm done with you. You dead to me. The what?
Get the papers. I'm gonna take the high road like I should have done a long time ago.